Adios. Let me know if you can see and hear me. Now the counter is up there. It says no one's viewing yet, so I don't know if you can see me just yet. We'll give it a few seconds. So what's going on here? We have Lukeee coming on in not too long, but now we got some comments. Vivid Mouse, Richard, glad you're here. Miss Tammy, I don't know what's wrong with my chat. Good morning. I see Sean Baker put a teaser up and he was interviewing Pink. We'll have to watch after this. Yeah, go and do it. Glad you can hear and see me. Awesome. Pimmerling. Apparently that's my name. I'm glad you're here, Fluffy Rainbows. So it's pretty good. Time is it in Sweden? Is it like we're not 12 hours apart right now, are we? I just have to check the time here. So my world clock says it's 11. Now that's quite late in Sweden, isn't it? You really should be in bed. Patricia says something happened weird. Said we were waiting for you, then you appeared mid-sentence. Okay. I don't know. I think there's clearly a glitch between StreamYard and YouTube, and I'm not really sure. There's a delay sometimes on the chat for like 30 seconds or something, so it's quite a large delay, so I don't know what that's about. But we're here, you can see me now, so all is good. So while we're waiting for our special guest, who apparently is having dinner right now, I think you all should send me your questions, ask questions, comment, have a good time, do what you do best, and that is chatting a lot so that I can't keep up with the chat. Doofenfokke. Hey, it's Pim. She has come to say things to us. Yay. Yeah. I'm not sure what I'm going to tell you, though. There are a lot of things going on right now, and yeah, as you might have noticed or not, I don't know, this week I didn't have an interview coming up. I've been asking people. I haven't been able to nail anyone down properly, so it just wasn't going to happen. Sometimes life happens. I'm hoping to be able to get something up for this this Tuesday. Might be delayed with one day. Harry has agreed to come and talk about ApoE and the history of that. That's going to happen on my Wednesday evening, so that would mean a day's delay unless I get another interview going. So it will all good. We're going to resume normal procedures ASAP. Let's see. It's the exactly right time for some Saturday Night Live. Okay. I guess you're a night owl then. I am too, but I'm just training myself to be up early in the morning. It's much more productive, even though naturally I will gravitate towards sleeping quite late, preferably after midnight, to be fair, but I'm not doing that anymore. And I've been doing this whole year, and it still doesn't feel natural. My body still tells me that, nah, you shouldn't go to bed at 10 o'clock. That's too early. And I rarely fall asleep at 10 o'clock, to be fair. So we all have that, you know, our individual biologies, and it's kind of interesting to see how far, oh, come on, Puffy, how far we can push it and actually be functioning with it. But I enjoy being productive in the morning, so that's a good thing. Ness, come here. What are you doing? Come. I bet everyone wants to see the offender. So here she is. Can you shut up? Hi, Honest. Good to have you here. I hope she's not touching the microphone, because then you won't hear anything. So they used the number 3 in Swedish language for the name of their country. Sean Baker during Sverige interview. Well, they don't do that. I think Sverige does that, but he's not even Swedish. He's just being cool. Yay, Lukeee! What are you doing in the chat and not on the stream? You have the link. Hi, doggy. Yes, she has opinions. She has opinions about everyone who is in the neighborhood, who's doing things outside. And unfortunately, I don't think we're ever going to be able to change her opinions. Scott, saying hi before taking my son indoor rock climbing and then have to meet up with in-laws afterwards. Well, nice of you to pop by and say hi. I guess you don't have a question since you didn't say anything. It feels like you guys are mostly here to socialize and not ask so many questions, but that's cool if that's what you want to do. And hopefully we can ask Lukeee some questions. So apparently his lighting is unfortunate. Oh, he's gonna hide in the dark. We'll see what happens. Hey Pim, if you break several addictions and end up with one left that you pretty much cross addicted all of your other addictions to, how do you break that one? Right. I would say that you just do it the same way, but it depends a little bit. Can you give me an example, or is that personal? Do you not want to do that? It might be a little bit easier for me to answer that question. But all addictions usually have the same origin. There's a reason for why you're addicted to something, and whatever that reason is for you is something that when you say that it's a cross addiction. So if you get rid of sugar and maybe you get rid of alcohol and you get rid of whatever, and then you have one thing left, it's usually that you are using that one thing for everything that all the others were used for before. So it wouldn't necessarily matter which one you have left. It's still you're feeding that addiction, or getting away from whatever emotion that you don't want to have, etc., by having that one addiction left. And before, you might have spread it out between several different ones, so it might have looked like they weren't so bad because they were all kind of contributing to helping you with whatever is the reason for why you were doing it. So it's not necessarily, it might feel like it's harder to quit because now you don't transfer that addiction over to something else. You're kind of trying to get rid of it. But before, you've always been able to quit because you've been, oh, well, I can do this thing instead. So that's much easier. So let's see. I drop it down to just caffeine, but it's tied to sugar-free sweet addiction. Things get strange the closer I get to breaking it, and I backslide the first time I miss sleep. Okay, so it's tied to sugar-free sweet addiction. Okay. Lukeee, I can see you. I'm just going to answer this question and then we'll pop you on. Cool. Awesome. It's strange the closer I get to breaking it. So get strange? What do you mean get strange? Backslide the first time I missed sleep. Okay, so sleep is a huge thing. I think we were talking about that in the 30-day no sugar challenge, like today. That for me, sleep is huge. If I don't sleep, I pretty much have cravings all day long. And I just want to eat lots of sugar in any form. I don't care what form. I just want to eat. Or literally, I can eat. It doesn't matter what it is, but I will want sugar as well. But, have something. And I think it has to do with when you're tired, you don't have enough energy, and your body is reacting to that by wanting you to put energy in, which would be to eat something. And the quickest energy is sugar. So that is an aspect that is not tied to, the emotional addiction. So that would make it a lot harder if you miss sleep. Absolutely. What you could do is, it sounds like you've been dabbling and got off caffeine and then kind of back on again. So you know how to do it. What you just need to figure out is that, do you need another substitute if you feel tired, if that is the reason that you kind of go back to coffee? Or what is the reason? I'm going to bring Lukeee on there. Maybe he has something to say about it as well. So here we go.
Everyone.
Welcome. Hi, Lukeee.
It's nice to be here.
Oh, thank you for being here. So do you have any opinion about this little question here about breaking caffeine? because we all have different opinions and what to do and
Yeah,
why it's
I
right.
think it's rather funny to me because I myself, I never had a habit of consuming coffee or caffeinated drinks for that matter. And I would say that the best thing is not taking up many challenges at the same time, because that's something a lot of people struggle with. At least that's something I see among my personal life, among my friends, and like people will try to get things right, and they'll be trying to like, oh, take away sugar and take away caffeine and trying to sleep at the same time every day and trying to exercise. That doesn't usually work. So I would say to keep your stress levels as low as you can and focus on just getting rid of the caffeine. At least that's my opinion, I guess.
Awesome. You're very wise for being so young. We love having you here. No, that's actually really, really good advice. So that's one of the things that we do when we do the 30-day no sugar challenge. And people sometimes they say, I want to quit this and that and that. And I say, just focus on one thing unless you're absolutely confident that you can do it. Because when you're trying to do a lot of things at once, it's going to go downhill, most likely. Some people can do it. Personally, I don't think I could. And Patricia said something good as well. Where did that go? She says you have to figure out what the thing in your life you're avoiding. So it sounds like maybe you started with avoiding something and now it's more like a crutch that you have to have coffee or you're going to be tired. Is that why you kind of going back to it when you don't sleep well? And if it's a crutch, then maybe you can substitute that for something that, something more useful, like have a cold shower or something. That's going to wake you up, isn't it? Not saying it's pleasant, but it's definitely going to wake you up. So, Lukeee, I want to talk to you now.
Oh,
Ooh, how are you doing? What projects do you have on the go? Because you just finished your exams, etc.
yeah, I'm having like a 2 week vacation.
Two
So,
weeks.
yeah,
That's nothing.
it's nothing, but that's how it goes. My course is weird. It's like the terms are like 4 month periods. So it's not like the usual semesters and stuff.
Hmm.
Barely get any vacation. 2 weeks is actually a lot for me.
Okay. So you're just resting now.
Hmm. I
Okay.
mean, it's also a good time to try out new stuff and try to eat even less carbs than I'm already eating right now.
Yeah. Well,
But
you
yeah,
mentioned last week something about your family and, that they might be on board a little bit more. So you want to talk about that?
yes. So I got them to a fast
Yeah.
to skip dinner 2 days a week, and they are getting rid of vegetable oils. They are using lard and butter as much as possible,
Mm-hmm.
even deep frying, because we're not used to eating anything fried, but like once or twice a month, there's a dish my mom makes that we really like here at home. It's like fried chicken made her own way with her own spices and such. And she started using lard for that because I just kept on talking about it incessantly. And she's like, okay, let's do it. But I don't like it.
Oh, that's funny.
After the
So,
first,
yeah,
after the
go on.
first time she used it, both my mom and dad, they noticed that they feel much better after eating that. Because usually after eating stuff fried in vegetable oils, they would feel just sluggish and tired. And my dad would have like bad digestion. He would feel maybe heartburn sometimes, maybe just general unwellness.
Hmm.
And that didn't happen
Oh
anymore.
my God. That's so cool. So did your mom admit that she felt better from eating it?
So that's funny because like I think, yeah, just yesterday she kind of got into a mildly heated argument with me because she accidentally dropped some lard in the oven and it was a mess to clean up. And she was like, see, it's all because you want to do new stuff and you want to change everything. And I'm like, but you said that you feel better and that was an accident. And like later yesterday, she apologized and she said,
Oh,
oh, you're right. And uh, I even found some smaller lard packages that are easier to store, and that was her main problem. She doesn't want a lot of the stuff hanging about at the same time. And
right.
now she's making an effort to actually look for something that she can actually use instead of blaming it on me.
Well, that's pretty good progress. So you basically used a nagging tactic and it worked.
Yes. And I mean, it does help that they tend to listen a bit their song because they know that I'm kind of obsessed with like biochemistry and diet. So if
Yeah.
I say something, they usually listen to it. I just have to explain it in detail and take some time, but they'll think about it and they'll be like, that actually makes sense. Let's try it. And if they feel better, they are like, yeah, you're probably right. That's how it works, I guess.
But that's really, really good. I mean, I said I'm lucky because my family seems to be listening to me and they can come to me and actually ask for advice every now and then when they need it. But for most people that, when you, especially your parents won't listen to you because they've been there your whole life and they're the one who taught you everything. So of course you wouldn't know anything that they don't already know.
Yeah.
So I think you've been doing some good work there. And, if they see the results, hopefully they will start listening more. So awesome job. Virtual high five, like high five. There you go. You're
Uh,
as well trained as my dogs. I like it.
uh, I just, these people think I'm not looking at the chat, but I'm looking.
Yeah.
I see
And
every word, you guys.
I think we got the thank you, Cornell, for the super chat. And I think that is thanks to you. You probably
Yeah,
don't want to comment on that.
no,
No.
just no.
So let's see if we can find some more questions. Da, da, da. What's up with your camera? Does it keep falling down?
Yeah, I'm trying to get a proper angle, not cutting my shingles.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Helmet Blister wants you to put the light on.
Yeah, I just raised up my brightness. Should be looking better right now.
A little bit. It's
I'm
dark where you are, though.
I'm using my screen as a light source. It's not like I have a recording setup.
No,
I'm not a YouTuber.
no, he's a special guest, and I'm very grateful that he's here. So if he's dark, I didn't give a shit. It's all good. So
Just so
let's
you
see. Sorry?
have an idea of how tanned I am. I don't know if you can see it.
I'll remove this. Yeah, I have to go to Brazil and get some sun, I think. So, okay, let's continue with this one. Is an interesting one, at least I think so. It's really hard to explain how it gets strange to a person who is not drifting in and out of psychopathy. I was also diagnosed with PTSD at one point, but now there's just some kind of shadow of it. Okay. Well, yes. So maybe I'm not exactly qualified to help you with that because I'm literally dealing with emotional eating, and if there's a lot of PTSD and other things behind that, and mental health disorders, I'm not trained to deal with that, so that's not really something that I would like to give advice on. But I don't know how coffee is helping, but at the same time, I want to say the same thing: is that can you find something that is not, that is better for your health that can help you do the same thing? Is there a substitute that is not going to be something that you're addicted to that you could use for now, pretty much? Any thoughts, Lukeee?
I pretty much agree.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Da, da, da. Yeah, exactly. Going through and Cornell, this is not bot stream behave. I'm glad we have Patricia here, just taking care of that. So Dr. Sean Baker was talking shit about you on Facebook this morning, just saying. Right, what did he say then? Let's see if we can find some other comments. Something, maybe a question for Lukeee, because he's not going to be here next week. So if you have any questions for him, I suggest that you get them in ASAP. Here we go.
Yes.
Now, you have to read that. I want to hear the pronunciation.
Comida por quilo.
What is that exactly?
So that's when that's usually an expression for self-service restaurants where
Okay.
they sell you the food by the kilo
All
and swap
right.
food per kilo.
I see. So it's like eat you can eat all you can eat buffet, but you have to pay for what you eat.
Yeah, and it's a smart idea to basically just get
Yeah.
meat, nothing else, because that's
Mm,
how you get the most bang for your buck.
absolutely. So if I ever come across that, I know what I'm gonna do. So you're getting comments here. Luke looks so cute from this angle. Mm. Shell, she's here. Just got in from work, chilling out with a cup of coffee, put some salt water on the stove for crab leg steak to go with it. Okay, so no pizza today. I'm glad to hear. People are just commenting today.
Yes,
Oh,
as
here
usual.
we go. As usual. Yeah. Sometimes we'll get more questions than other times. So there's always, like every week, we're talking about pizza. So if it's not Shell, it's Gung Fu. Or Bart will come in and mention pizza. I don't know.
Pizza has too much opioids in it.
It's really strange because I don't even, I mean, I eat pizza every now and then, but it's not a food that I ever crave or that I really like. So it's,
And like for me, I like sweetness, but I don't crave sweetness.
yeah, I guess that's my pizza. God, brain, start working. So, Shell says, "Oh, hi Pim, nice interview on Meet RX. I'm glad you liked it. You know what? It was really rough to get up at 3:30 in the morning to do that. I just thought like my brain is not going to work. But to be honest, I don't even remember what I said. So when it comes out on YouTube, I'm going to have to rewatch it myself. And I never rewatch my own shit because I don't like seeing myself on camera."
No, wouldn't you know? You don't like yourself on camera.
No, this is like cool. We're back.
My camera again.
Helmet, I think this is a question for you. Do you agree that Bolsonaro is a cunt?
Yeah, he's pretty bad. I just don't like politicians in general, so that's pretty much it.
We don't want to go into the details. Just found the most amazing bacon, naturally smoked, adding the fat to some lard. Now everything I cook in tastes like smoky bacon. Oh my god, that sounds awesome. What bacon is that, Richard? You have to share. Thank you for the super chat as well. Most of us enjoy your company, Pim. I cannot even think of a valid question. Well, that's sad, but it's nice that you're here. And you know what? Maybe we should just have a toast one Sunday or whatever. I don't know. Have a online YouTube live stream party. Everyone comes on camera and do whatever you want to do. It's weekend, isn't it?
Well,
Are you up for it, Lukeee?
just just before you continue, Shell has asked me about how's the COVID situation over here.
Okay, I'll get that one up on the screen. There you go.
Yeah, so I mean, it's to be honest, I'm confused because we are second second highest country in number of cases, but it's like it has become stale at this point. I think the lockdown has made it so the progression of like the increasing number of cases has become pretty flat, but it has just it has made things confusing because some places are trying to go down restrictions, and most people agree they should go down. But like in, in certain areas, when the restrictions go down, the number of cases sharply increase, and it's tough to understand what's going on. I personally, I would say that at this point, it's far too restrictive. It's a bit, it's become a stone in everybody's shoes, I guess. And yeah, there's no sensible time frame for things to get back to normal. Even I don't know if I'll actually be back to university by next year. Maybe it won't be right at the beginning of next year, but actually a few months into the year. So yeah, it's like nothing has changed anymore. And I hear of some friends of friends dying, extended family. Some people have died, but it's really hard to gauge what's going on. And that's why it feels so frustrating.
So that's interesting that you say that because, you know, they say, everyone who's against, the way Sweden has been handling it, they're saying, oh, Sweden is doing so badly. I don't know anyone who knows anyone who's died from coronavirus in Sweden.
Yeah, it's actually like it's funny because it takes being in a country that has like really supposedly really high number of cases just so it starts impacting a little bit of your immediate life.
Yeah.
And yeah, but that's like I've heard of a few people that are not even that are like not even a part of my daily life, so to speak. Those are people I know about but don't see every day.
Okay. And those people, where do you know anything about their health status, age, that sort of
Yeah,
thing?
most of them were middle-aged and not many pre-existing health conditions,
Okay. It's
but not
interesting.
it either.
Yeah. So that's probably, the insulin resistance that no one has diagnosed, that thing going on. Unfortunately, that's probably the majority of the population on this earth, I would say,
Pretty much.
unfortunately. Yeah. Right. So we have another super chat. Oh, the chat is jumping. Gung Fu, thank you so much for 20 norska kronor. Lukeee, what is your training and food regimen?
Oh well, there we go.
Yes. Now we got questions for Lukeee.
Well, so far, mainly because of the lockdown, but also because of personal preference, my workouts have been mostly centered around calisthenics, and I use a lot of the gymnastics rings. I have a push pull split, and I usually do some leg exercises, just body weight, twice a week. If I have the chance, I go running like once a week or something like that. But I try not to overdo on the running, even though I like it, because I don't want to spend a lot of energy and eat even more than I already do. And speaking of eating, So far, I'm still limited because I depend on my parents and I still live under their roof, at least for now, being away from university and stuff. And basically, my lunch is starch based. It's like usually rice and beans and some meat, usually like 200 grams or something. I eat various types of animal products throughout the day, always some dairy, um, eggs, fish, pork, poultry, beef, pretty much all of these along the week in various amounts. My at afternoon, middle of the afternoon, that's when I usually make a shake, and it's usually like some milk, a little bit of honey. I think I've mentioned this before. I like honey not for eating even more carbs. That's not the point. I like it because it has helped me with my allergies, and it tends to have a nice flavor profile. But I use just like 5 grams or something. You don't need much. Yeah, so it's milk, yogurt, maybe some fruit, and some Brazil nuts for minerals. And dinner is when I eat mostly carnivore, so just beef and cheese, just eggs and cheese. And that's how I go about stuff. I feel that the shake is really helpful for me because I already eat a lot, and having a meal that is pretty much liquid, that is a lot of stuff just, uh, mixed up and that you can drink easily, that helps me a lot. And because it's like dairy and fruit, I feel like it helps me with my potassium intake. So when it's summer and I work out outside and I sweat a lot and lose a lot of minerals, I feel like that's really helpful for me. Yeah,
Cool.
so that's it. I hope this wasn't a hairy moment where I just speak a lot and stuff.
No, it's all good. We're enjoying having you here. You can hear me speak any Sunday or Saturday, wherever you are. So we'll take advantage of having you here. Phoenix Compilation says, doing carnivore OMAD and finally losing weight. Wasn't losing on high fat OMAD. Any signs your diet is too low in fat? I've heard of rabbit starvation, but what if you're burning fat? So, I mean, how little fat are you eating? I think if you're eating fatty cuts of meat without, piling on extra fat, you're not going to be too low in fat. I think that rabbit starvation is only a problem if you literally eat close to no fat at all and you're very low in body fat percentage, when you don't have any fat on your body either. So we need an amount of fat to keep our hormones going, etc. So if you don't have enough fat to do that, then you are going to suffer some consequences. So if you're feeling great, if you have a lot of energy, you sleep well, you losing weight, everything is going the way that you want it to go, and you think you're worried that you're eating, not enough fat, don't worry about it. Just keep doing that for a while. At some point, your body's probably going to tell you that, hey, you need to change, or you can change yourself if you really think that it's not enough. But I wouldn't worry too much about that. Not if you are actually, successful in losing weight right now. I would just keep doing it. Ride the wave and then change. Any comments, Lukeee?
Pretty much it, Pin. It's hard to add a lot when it's spot on.
Sorry. So, sorry, Helmet Blister said.
Oh.
Can you comment on it?
Yeah,
go on.
Actually, me and my dad's favorite cut of meat.
Okay, that was it. Good comment. It's your favorite cut of meat.
Yes, I like it a lot.
Fair enough. Okay, so Cornell says, if we were hypothetically go out for dinner, where would you want to eat? So let's reframe the question. Lukeee, if you were hypothetically going on a date, where would you want to go eat?
That's a hard question because I usually don't think about dating, you know. But yes, I mean, I guess a barbecue place is pretty much ideal, you know.
Okay. Barbecue. We like that. I like that. Shell says, how much iodine does one need? I don't know. I honestly don't know how much iodine you need. Luke, do you have any? Sorry, Lukeee. I said it right. Do you have any idea?
Isn't it? I don't really remember. Is that? I think it's like 150 micrograms or milligrams. I'm not quite sure.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen
But
heard about this, and it's like they add the potassium iodide to refined salt, and it's usually about, so they say that about 2 grams should cover that need. However, there's a few problems.
yeah,
Since iodine is a halogen, it suffers from competition with other halogens when you are ingesting it. So the actual bioavailability of the iodized salt, of the iodine in the iodized salt, is supposed to be low, especially because you are taking a lot of, sodium chloride, and the chloride ions will compete with the iodine. So
yeah,
that makes it a poor source. The best source really is food.
that's a good point. So yeah, just Google it quickly, and it says 150 micrograms. It's kind of recommended daily intake, but as you say, it's probably very, very dependent on what's going on in your body. So, as you said, if you have a lot of competition from other, chloride or fluoride or whatever, so if you go swim in a fluoridated, chlorinated pool a lot of the time, you're going to absorb some of that, and that can actually bind the same receptors and sit there and just block it out. So then you'll probably need a lot more iodine to outcompete the chloride, etc. So whereas we can say that 150 micrograms might not be enough for you, or it might be more than you need. And if you're healthy and your thyroid works well, etc., then it might be enough. But I don't know. Do you know a lot about different tests you can do for such things and what to look out for? Because I'm not, that's not exactly my expertise.
Yeah, I've heard there's a lot of like different personal impressions that people have about this, but sometimes if you have like, if your extremities are cold, you have cold hands and stuff, people usually say that's a sign that you may need some more iodine. But that's something that uh, varies a lot. A lot of things can cause cold hands, and there's also the test of, yes, pretty much
Kind of
that.
see through.
Yes, it is see-through. You can drop like iodine compounds on your skin, and depending on how fast the pigmentation, so how this iodine stains, how quickly they go away, that can be used to tell if your body is needing a lot of iodine, because if they go away too fast, that's your body just pulling a lot of iodine in. I've heard about that, but I'm not sure of the science behind it.
Yeah, I was trying to look that up before because it sounded a little bit airy-fairy to me.
Yes.
But I just found, support for both sides, so I'm still not entirely sure whether to believe that or not. So, I kind of gave up on that. So, it's not that interesting. That's why I'll ask you. Maybe you know more. Maybe I have to ask Harry about it because he just knows crazy shit sometimes. He's good for that. Radio. Hi, Pim and Lukeee. Hi, everyone. Hi, Trouble. Nice to have you here. Okay. Miss Tammy. I would like to know if there are any carnivore powerlifters and if they have fully transitioned off the carbs and how long it took them to return to their 1RMs, powerlift, but not competing yet. That's very interesting. I would like to interview any such powerlifters if we have them, because that's very, very interesting. So you might have been watching my interview with Ella Bruce, and I was asking her that specific question, like, how, if you were into powerlifting, would you change your diet? Would you eat differently? And she said, yeah, probably. I would just like eat as much as I could to, up my strength. So, when it comes to powerlifting, what you want to do is just like pile on the strength. You don't really give a shit about your health, I say, but the body fat, etc. That's just cosmetic, and it doesn't matter if it makes you stronger to have a lot of mass. That's how they're going to do it. So that would be very interesting. So if anyone knows about anyone, please let me know so I can actually ask them for an interview. What do you say, Lukeee?
Yeah, that's something I'm actually highly curious about. And especially because there's a lot of like empty-handed comments about, see, low-carb diets are shit for powerlifting and stuff. And I'm like, you guys don't know that,
Yeah.
It's like usually everyone comes from a background of being starch-based or, carb-based. And when people get into extreme sports and just powerlifting and stuff, you are just going to specialize on what you have been already doing for your whole life. Doesn't mean that's better. That's how I see it, at least. And just now we are seeing low carb athletes go into the mainstream and stuff. So it's something I actually want to know about.
Yeah. So all of us want to know about that. So keep your eyes out. We can make something happen. I totally missed this one. Thank you so much, Phoenix Compilations, for the super chat.
Yes,
Thank you for what you do, Pim. Luke, are they burning down the rainforest for beef or soy?
This again.
Go on.
It's funny because depending on who you ask, you get different answers. This is one of those cases where people take something that's bad and then they try and twist it for their own ideologic purposes. And the situation in Brazil is really complex. And what I can say is that I hate subsidies. And subsidies are pretty much the cause of everything that's going on. And most of the soy in Brazil is exported, the vast majority. And I'm sure a few of you must have heard this before, but cattle doesn't eat products that are made for humans. They eat the shitty stuff that is indigestible, and that's basically waste. And that's what feed is. And even though cattle does get some feed in Brazil, the vast majority of the cattle's life is on the grass. We have lush grass all year round. And like a decent amount of Brazil, so you have different biomes. You have the central Brazil is savanna-like, and there is in South Brazil, the Pampas and stuff like that. Those places are pretty much grasses and stuff. You can use that type of land like without any aid for cattle. So the whole simplistic idea that, oh, the Amazon is being destroyed because cattle need soy and stuff. No, like soy is in a ton of stuff, of synthetic products, of all of those packaged goods and stuff as emulsifiers, straight up oil and fillers, soy flour. Like it's not about feeding the animals because there's a ton of resources and indigestible matter that the cattle eats. So it's like just a big fallacy to say that animals are the cause of the destruction of the Amazon and stuff. It's just like so shallow and dishonest.
So, what is the reason that they are destroying the rainforest?
So yes, if you look at so there is illegal wood poaching. Some places, I think that mining is kind of relevant, but not much. That's something that changes with time. But the vast majority of it is for agricultural purposes. And I highlight again, most of the soy in Brazil is actually exported, and it's used to make products for human use. The only part that becomes feed is actually, or at least the vast majority of what becomes feed, is what is not usable, at least not digestible by humans. And that's basically the reason why it's used as feed. If you have subsidies for monocropping and stuff, the waste product of something that's monocropped is basically free. And that's why it ends up on animal feed. But nobody is growing monocrops to feed animals, at least not cattle. If you look into chicken, maybe you see that quite a lot of corn is used for chicken, but I am not for corn-fed chickens, and I think most people here are not for that. And corn is not causing the destruction of the Amazon.
Fair enough. Good. I think we answered that question. So I know that you have seen the comment already because you answered in the chat, but Patricia said, Luke, your voice and your English are wonderful.
Thank you, Patricia.
Yeah, your English is really good, actually. I don't know. You were saying at some point that you were worrying about it, but really,
yes,
no reason.
It has come a long way. Would you believe me if, like, I told you that before March of this year, I basically just wrote and read in English, but I had no opportunity to actually practice my conversation skills.
Yeah, that's hard to believe because it's. I actually have a friend in Brazil, and his written English is really good most of the time. There's some grammatical things that could improve, but his spoken English is really not anywhere close to yours. So yeah, it's impressive actually. Well done, you.
Thanks.
Shell, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for doing what you do, Pim. We appreciate you very much. At Lukeee, keep up the good work, and you should do your own show. Yeah,
maybe in the future.
Maybe in the future. No, you really switched on, which I appreciate, and you kind of using your brain in a very good way. So yeah, I can see that. If you wanted to do that, I think that you could probably have a good channel. Or you can just come back to mine. You're always welcome. Let's see then. Cornell says, is Lukeee considering starting doing flips? He had a very good body for it.
No, it's funny. I really like the strength stuff, but I'm not very like dynamic and stuff. All the dynamic calisthenics is really hard for me. And
so Honest wants to go on a date with you. Is that better than Cornell?
Let's stop talking about dates, people.
He's busy. He's converting his parents. He's studying. He's playing games. He's having his time off now. Stop bothering Luke. He doesn't want to date anyone.
Let's be realistic,
Right. Shell says, my body's doing great. Lol, no ocean water though, sigh. Well, in that case, I wouldn't worry. I can understand I mean, I know where it might be coming from because I'm the same. I'm like, oh, do I get enough of this? Maybe I'm low in that. But you know what? In the end of the day, if you feel good, you're probably fine. I mean, you could test it, I suppose, but probably wouldn't bother too much. Richard says, considering where in the world you live, do you get unusual local animal products you like?
Yeah, that's a bit sad. That's something I've complained a lot about on Bart server, Discord server. It's like depressing when you see overseas, especially like places like the US, New Zealand, Australia, the availability of different animal products you guys have, and like unusual stuff. For example, beef mince that is like muscle and organs at the same time. That gets like sold, and people, because there are people that actively look for that, and some shops have already it like pre-made. You don't have to go to the butcher and ask for, hey, can you like mince some organs and muscle and stuff. There's a ton of different stuff. There's like all types of cheeses and different uh, bivalves and stuff like seafood, and I just don't get any of that here. Like, it's my choice is my range of choices is extremely limited, but I can make do at least, because I at least get some canned seafood. And yes, I'm aware of the drawbacks, but still, I feel like the quality of canned seafood I get is acceptable, and my exposure to like can linings and stuff is within a like safe parameter and stuff. Obviously, I try to go for fresh as much as possible. But for example, oysters and mussels, that's like something you can find, but then quality becomes in question. And there's also the old age problem of where the hell do you get grass-fed beef?
Yeah.
That's like exported, and few places I found it is like really expensive. And the best thing really, which is kind of what I can do right now, since my family has actually a rural background, and a lot like a few of my distant relatives and such were actually farmers or worked in the fields. I have a few connections from which I can get raw dairy, but I'm not going to comment a lot on that because it is sadly illegal in Brazil. And you can also obtain like whole cows and stuff that usually get sold at a really affordable price. But then you either pay someone to process that for you, or you actually learn how to properly butcher everything and stuff. And yeah, that's how I go about. I usually eat conventional stuff. I eat seafood, if both canned and fresh, and I eat local cheeses. Some cheeses are raw even, and eggs are actually pretty good quality. The free range stuff. That's something I'm actually quite lucky to have good access to. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There are better places than where I live, at least outside of Brazil, for getting high quality food.
Yeah, but in the end of the day, even if you buy conventional meat, it's going to be like so much better than a standard American diet or standard Brazilian diet or whatever you want to call it. So we just have to do the best what we can do where we are, and you are lucky in that sense that you're still quite young and you don't have any pre-existing nutritional abuse that you need to take care of. So for
Yes,
you, I think you're going to be fine, and you could probably eat like that your whole life and still be fine.
yeah,
It's for people that have got ill from eating not very good for a long period of time. They might have to go to the extreme. But for someone like you, I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, and I would say that's something I have been kind of struggling with since like joining all these diet communities and the carnivore community and stuff, is that my health isn't that bad. I haven't had like big struggles over my life. I basically have like Hashimoto's thyroiditis, and that is somewhat under control, and I don't have many complaints. Like I usually get a bit of brain fog here and there, and I feel that maybe I could, you know, just feel a bit better overall, but it's not like I'm falling apart or something. I haven't had like major nutritional deficiencies and stuff. So sometimes I feel like I don't get the full scope of what like not eating properly is like, because I'm not coming from a place of being really bad and feeling
Yeah.
normal. I feel like just below normal, and I expect to feel a lot better. So
Yeah.
to me, it's like about becoming really optimized. It's not just about not feeling bad, you know, and
Yeah.
that's what I look for in food.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, I don't want to say that, a carnivore diet or a low carb diet isn't, the absolute best thing that you can probably do, or getting rid of a lot of the offending vegetable matters when you have something
Yeah.
like Hashimoto's or whatever. But there are people that can heal from Hashimoto's actually eating a lot of vegetables as well. They just have to cut the crap out, and they might just be removing the wheat, and they're actually doing
Yeah,
okay. So,
yeah,
yeah,
but,
and many
yeah.
ways of skinning a rabbit. I'm just making shit up here.
Yes, but what I have to say, I guess, as a closing statement is that even if I had no health problems, I would eventually have found carnivore anyway,
Hmm.
and I would have changed my diet because that's just how I feel about it. I really
Yeah,
believe that it is like being animal based really is as good as it gets.
and it makes sense. It, you know, if you believe in evolution, it makes sense.
Pretty
That's all.
much.
Yeah. Oh, Bart is here, or was anyway. I heard him talking this. He's probably not here anymore. 6 years, fuck son. There is a lot of talk, and I'm sure that you have seen a lot of comments here. People love you. You have to come back. Patricia says that your English is better than many people I know that are native speakers. We don't want to know what they like, if our English or your English is better than theirs. Let's see. So I'm not going to be able to stay much longer, maybe 5 more minutes, but then I have a meeting soon and need to go. So let's see.
What the hell?
Raw is best. Okay. That's a very interesting. Who did I speak to about that very recently? That for some people, raw seems to sit so much better with them, and for other people, it's the totally opposite. And I don't really know which is like supposedly best. I mean, if you have enough stomach acid to break it down, I don't think there's going to be a lot of difference. Sure, when you cook the meat, if you cook it a lot, some things might, evaporate or, get destroyed, but I don't think there is a huge difference between raw and cooked. What do you think, Luke?
Yeah, that's a heated topic.
Yeah.
Intended. But I've been here and there about this.
Uh-huh.
When I personally started thinking about this, I had strong feelings against raw dieters, which I
Mm-hmm.
still have. But at the same time, I have acknowledged some interesting things that have made me want want to start eating raw animal foods and have that as a regular part of my diet, because like bearing the concerns around, for example, losing minerals and stuff when you like cook the meat and the juices go out, that stuff can matter, but I'm going to say it doesn't matter too much because you can eat salt.
Mm.
And but there are interesting things like taurine and uh, other things like that, which people don't usually talk about and which are seen as non-essential, but maybe ingesting them in higher amounts actually does have a ton of like protective benefits and stuff. And when I taurine specifically, because it's something have heard about a lot more, it does seem to have like a ton of potential to it, and that may be the reason why some raw dieters just feel so much better, because it is implicated in like cognition and maybe protecting your eyes from certain types of inflammation or oxidative damage. It has a ton of different properties about it. And yeah, maybe some people, for example, just have really bad, just have problems producing enough enzymes and like digestive enzymes. And that's something that I feel like a lot of people don't pay attention to. And it is why a lot of people say that, oh, feels lighter to me. The
Mm.
digestion feels
Yeah.
lighter to me. That's what motivates a lot of people. But overall, I just think that the best thing is to eat food from all types of preparations, raw, cooked, fermented, and not be like too radical either to one side or the other, I would say.
Yeah, that issue with the enzymes, I find that quite interesting because I always, you know, I haven't done any research into it, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to me because when you put, unless it's an enzyme that functions at a very, very low pH, when you're eating something, your stomach acid is going to um, destroy the enzyme basically. So
Mhm.
I'm questioning the validity of eating raw food for the enzymes. I don't quite believe that that would make any difference personally, but
The
I'm
what I
open for being proven wrong. Sorry.
for things like meat, it's not about like the enzymes on the meat itself, but more so what I've heard, and something that I can't like mechanistically understand yet, is that thing where people say that raw animal foods, specifically raw meat, requires less digestive enzymes to be digested.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
some. But also there's the thing about dairy, because dairy is quite different in that aspect.
Hmm.
I I believe that raw milk has like lipid globules or something. It has some type of protective mechanism that actually allows the enzymes to have effects past the stomach, because they are protected from the stomach acid. Acid.
Yeah, that's a fair comment, I think. Okay, so unfortunately, we are running out of time, and I know there are a couple of questions, but you're more than welcome to come back next week and ask them, and we shall see
I'm
what we
actually,
can do. Sorry?
I actually like this a lot. I can't believe
Yeah,
it. I can't believe it's been 1 hour already.
yeah. Well, you were late. I'm booked up, so I need to go, and I've been sitting in front of my computer for 2.5 hours now, so I need to stretch my legs quickly before my next meeting. Um, I do appreciate you all. It's great to have you here. And Luke, if you want to come back next Sunday, Saturday for you, you're more than welcome. Just let me know.
Thanks, Jane.
It's super cool to have someone on with me, and it's quite nice because I don't always have all the questions, and Lukeee has done a lot of research himself. and he's probably listening more to what Harry says than I do, and he's getting a lot of ideas from Harry, which is our secret source here. He's great. So yeah, any last final words you want to share with everyone before we leave?
Well, I just want to say that I'm honored to be on, and it feels nice to contribute with something that
Yay.
matters so much for me, and a content creator that I really like. So yeah, I guess I'll be making an appearance again in the future.
Yay. You all heard that. He's promised to come on again. Maybe not next week, but we'll see. I'll speak to you later. Thank you so much, everyone, and I will see you again next week. Hopefully, I'll get a video up maybe Wednesday this week. So take care and thank you.
Stay safe.